Hello friends! Today I'm going to demonstrate how to set up and clean up your workspace for painting in our art room. This may seem a little bit unnecessary, but I think it will prove to be very helpful. For setting up shop, you always want to have scrap paper or newspaper to protect your workspace from any paint. This saves you a mess during cleanup time. You want to have your palette and a paper towel, which will be used to dry any excess water or paint from your brush, a cup for water, a paintbrush, your paint, and of course whatever you will be painting on. You want to fill your water cup up about halfway. This way, in case your water were to spill, you'll have a lot less to clean up. Use a cup that has a little bit of weight to it. Styrofoam cups aren't always the best because they are so light, they can accidentally be knocked over a lot easier than a more sturdy cup. When you're picking your palette, think about the colors you will have time to use during this class period. You don't want to choose too many if you aren't going to be able to use all of them today. Don't fill your palette wells too high. Notice how I'm only putting a small amount of paint in. This helps us to save paint. Here's an example of a well-cleaned paintbrush. The bristles don't have any caked on paint, and the handle of the brush is clean. Here are some examples of poorly cleaned or misused paintbrushes. You'll notice that the bristles have caked on paint and the handles are also covered in paint. These paintbrushes are no longer usable because the bristles won't separate. These paintbrushes were not used for the correct material and definitely not washed well or at all. If you have extra paint and would like to use your palette again, use cling wrap to cover it. Keep in mind the cling wrap will only keep your paint wet for a few days, so be conscious of the amount of paints you put in your palette. It would also be helpful for you to label your palette with your name and a piece of masking tape. Dump out your water and rinse out any paint that may have sunk to the bottom of your cup. Use cold water to wash your paintbrush. Add some soap to your hand and swish the bristles of your brush around. You may need to use your fingers to help remove any excess paint from the bristles. Rinse your brushes again with cold water to remove the soap and then reshape your bristles. Good job! Here is an example of a poorly cleaned palette. If you are using acrylic paint, it will be very difficult to remove any paint from your palette once it is dried, but I'm going to show you how. We start by rinsing off any wet paint. You can use your hands to help the paint come off your palette too. Use a scrubby brush and dish soap to remove any excess caked on paint. Warm water helps with this. And then you'll just put everything away in the drying area. Make sure your paintbrush bristles are pointing upwards while drying. Yes, clean your brushes and palettes and they won't turn into zombies. Thanks for watching.